Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Prime Time News on TV1. We're coming to you live and direct from our News First studios here in Colombo. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the News First team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekar, and let's start off by taking a look at your headlines for tonight.
News First Headlines. Main sponsor.
Durden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
US University report states that China's next overseas military base is likely a Sri Lankan port. Tear gas fired at a protest. Journalist Tharindu Uduwaragedara arrested. Health Secretary speechless over the health crisis. Trade unions question what would happen to the July funds of the suspended benefit programs. Crudia zelenica tree that was uprooted by a cabinet decision exhumed as per court order.
News First Headlines. Main sponsor.
Durden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
In your top story tonight, Sri Lanka tops the list of nations that may host a Chinese naval base in the coming years as Beijing seeks to expand its maritime capabilities.
Now, this is according to a report by Air Data Research Project at Williams and Mary University in Virginia.
Sri Lanka's Hambantota port is the most likely spot for a base given the $2.19 billion China has already invested there, according to an assessment by the Air Data Research Project at William and Mary University in Virginia. Sites in Equatorial Guinea, Pakistan and Cameroon were listed as the next possibilities over the next 2 to 5 years. To come up with the short list, researchers assessed 78 international harbours in 46 countries that are most likely to harbour ships from the PLA Navy's fleet of approximately 500 vessels, the largest navy in the world. The new report studied where Chinese commercial firms have invested most heavily in establishing harbour and port infrastructure to protect international trade in such things as consumer goods, exports and imports of oil, grain and rare earth metals. China has invested $2.19 billion in Hambantota, more than in any other port, and the government in Colombo agreed to lease majority ownership of the port to a Chinese firm in 2017. In 2018, China gifted the Sri Lankan Navy a frigate, and the report notes that Sri Lankan elites and the general public have a favourable opinion of China and the Chinese people. Air Data also said that China could pursue a base in Gwadar, Pakistan, citing the two nations' close ties. The report also found a high concentration of Chinese port investments in Africa, ranking Bata, Equatorial Guinea, as the second most likely spot for a naval base after Beijing committed $659 million to a port there. The People's Liberation Army Navy built its first overseas outpost in Djibouti, East Africa in 2016 at a cost of $590 million, where up to 2,000 personnel have used the base to stifle piracy of Chinese cargo vessels sailing the waters around the Horn of Africa and the approach to the Suez Canal leading to the Mediterranean and Europe. Sri Lanka's chief negotiator for free trade agreements noted that China has shown flexibility to accommodate Sri Lanka's needs in FTAs.
Now, the latest proposal from Sri Lanka is that we will be willing to go to 85% liberalization with 5% partial reduction. That is, if the tariff is 10%, maybe we do a reduction of 5% or partial reduction of the remaining 5%. China also has said that for certain products, we can go beyond 20 years, but certain products it does not define. So I interpreted the certain products to be a 5%, and I proposed 85% we will go, and 5% we will do in 15 to 20 years or beyond 20 years. So China has shown flexibility to accommodate Sri Lanka's need to adjust, need a long time period to adjust, because We need to work out in trade adjustment package, and there's on pipeline to establish the productivity commission. These things also will happen when you undertake a trade liberalization program, an ambitious trade liberalization program. But one of the important aspects in the Chinese FTA negotiations is that, go back to the history of negotiations, they started in 2014. Because of the huge trade imbalance, we import 3.5 billion against we export 283 million. It's a huge trade gap. So therefore, in 2014, Sri Lanka suggested that in order to build this, to help Sri Lanka, because of the vast big trade deficit, China should allow for Sri Lanka to export some identified list of products, immediate market access.
He was speaking at a panel discussion on China-Sri Lanka business in Colombo.
French President Emmanuel Macron and Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi are due to visit Sri Lanka later today. France and Japan are part of the three-country group, including India, that announced a common platform for talks among bilateral creditors to coordinate restructuring of Sri Lanka's debt.
The President of France, Emmanuel Macron, will visit Sri Lanka on his return from Papua New Guinea on Friday night to Saturday morning. Reports said that the French President will meet with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe during his brief stay. The official discussion between the two heads of state will focus on an exchange of views on global, economic and political affairs. This historic visit is the first by a French president to Sri Lanka. Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi will visit Sri Lanka on Friday on a two-day official visit. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the Japanese Foreign Minister is scheduled to have official discussions with Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri at the ministry and pay courtesy calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan Hayashi Yoshimasa will be accompanied by a 22-member delegation.
Journalist Tharindu Duwaragedara was arrested by police during a protest held by trade unions on Friday afternoon.
This is how journalist Tharindu Duwaragedara was arrested by the police during the protest while he was inside the three-wheeler. The police media division said this arrest was made on the charges of being a member of an illegal assembly and criminal coercion of a government official. The protest, during which Tharindu Duwaragedara was arrested, was organized by the Joint Development Officers Union and other trade unions. The protest was against the attempts to loot the pension funds, failure to solve the workers' issues, pension slashing and unjust labour laws that are being done by the state under the guise of restructuring domestic debt. The protest was to take place opposite the National Hospital in Colombo. However, Sri Lanka police arriving at the protest site announced that a court order had set restrictions on the protest. Thereafter, the group protested at the Borala Junction.
The government assumes that the working masses will remain idle when they violate the rights of the people. We are against the attempts being made by the government to do away with all the labour laws and bring in a single law. We would like to tell the Ranil Rajapaksa clan to end their charades. We cannot be stopped. We will only stop when we have won our rights and have taught you a lesson.
Thereafter, the group proceeded along Kota Road in Borella. Sri Lanka police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse the group opposite the Sahaspura housing complex. Residents were also inconvenienced due to the use of water cannons.
The police remain in a castle in the clouds. They are not allowing us to protest and march. Freedom of expression is enshrined in the Constitution. You cannot take away the rights of the people. We will carry forward this struggle to every town and city in the country.
A woman who was injured during the protest was admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. A spokesperson for the hospital said that she continues to remain in treatment. Journalist Tharindu Duwargedara was detained at the Borella police and will be produced in court on Saturday. Vasantha Mudalige, the executive member of the Jan Aragala movement who was arrested in Colombo on Thursday, was released on bail by the Halstoff Magistrates Court on Friday. He was arrested as per a warrant issued for his arrest for failing to appear in court for a case filed over being a member of an unlawful assembly opposite the University Grants Commission on the 27th of February 2020 and for causing inconveniences.
There has been a serious increase in the number of issues faced in Sri Lanka's health sector. Now, some of these issues are, can be dubbed as genuine issues in the health sector that have been long-lasting, but others have been pure negligence of those involved in the health sector. But there hasn't been enough investigations conducted to make a proper distinction between which cases fall where. We'll bring you the details after this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Primetime News on TV1.
News First. Main sponsor.
Durden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
A decision has been reached to seek advice from the Colombo Chief Magistrate on conducting the magisterial inquiry on the death of the 3-year-old child who died at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital yesterday. The Colombo Chief Judicial Medical Officer and the Colombo Municipal Coroner reached this decision after taking into consideration many factors surrounding the death of this child. The child underwent a surgery to remove her kidney at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital last December.
Mohammed Hamdi underwent a surgery to remove his left kidney due to kidney failure at the Lade Ridgeway Hospital on the 24th of December last year. He had been put on a blood dialysis machine ever since. According to the revelation made on Action TV yesterday, Hamdi was diagnosed with kidney failure when he was just 9 months old. During the 21 months that followed, many tests conducted on Hamdi at the Lade Ridgeway Hospital confirmed that although Hamdi's left kidney was failing, his right kidney is healthy and functioning. The note made by the specialist surgeon on the same day that he performed the surgery stated that the failing left kidney of Hamdi had been removed. Hamdi was subsequently subject to several tests as he was not passing urine as usual. It was only then that details of an accidental removal of an undiagnosed horseshoe kidney was revealed. The birth of children with horseshoe-shaped kidneys is not very uncommon. As Action TV revealed, the kidney presented for examination following the surgery was not a horseshoe kidney, but a left kidney. This matter should not just be investigated by the deputy director of the hospital. An investigation into this incident from the day that Hamdi was admitted to the hospital should be conducted by a team of specialists.
I believe that the other kidney had also gone bad because both kidneys were interlinked from birth. That is why both kidneys had been removed at once. I had not received any complaint from the parents to date, but I ordered the deputy director to conduct an investigation into this. These are not decisions that are taken alone. Child specialists, kidney specialists and radiology department had been involved in this. Also, there were many surgeons involved and they made all of these decisions collectively. The decisions were made based on the medical evidence that were available at that time. The reports that they have, including laboratory and surgical reports. If there has been an issue there, I believe that all of these matters should be looked into and an independent investigation must be carried into the incident.
The decision to seek advice from the Colombo Chief Magistrate on conducting the magisterial inquest on the death of this child was taken today, taking into consideration many factors, including the fact that the surgeon who conducted the surgery, is currently overseas. The movement named the People's Collective for Economic Justice visited the National Medicines Regulatory Authority on Friday to seek information relating to substandard medicine imported into the country.
The movement, named the People's Collective for Economic Justice, visited the National Medicines Regulatory Authority on Friday to seek information under the Right to Information Act and submit their application. However, Sri Lanka police prevented them from entering the premises.
Why is the gate closed? There is no medicine at the Lunava Hospital in Moratuwa. They are issuing aspirin manufactured using powder from the United States. You have money for poles and canisters. However, you have no money for medicine. We are here to meet with the information officer. Can we submit the application or not?
Sri Lanka police informed them that 5 representatives can enter the premises and the application can be handed over to an acting director as the information officer was not available. Thereafter, several representatives of the movement named the People's Collective for Economic Justice entered the NMRA premises and submitted their RTI application. Following the submission, the group engaged in a protest.
Patients died due to low-quality medicine in Peradeniya, Kegol and other locations. As per the NMRA Act, if a person or company imports substandard medicine, legal action should be instituted within 90 days. We want to know the details regarding that. We wanted wanted to submit this application to the RTI officer. Every government institution should employ an RTI officer. Dr. Vijit is the officer for this institution, and he had obtained leave for a personal reason. We handed over the application to an acting officer.
Patients who visited the Colombo National Hospital and other hospitals were advised to obtain certain medications from private pharmacies.
I left the country 30 years ago. I am here to obtain medicine for my father. We visited a private hospital, but eventually we had to come here. There is no medicine. I am in possession of my French nationality visa as well. We will go insane if we speak of the medicine issues. We are here because we are helpless. If I have to obtain 5 medicines, they issue only 2. The remaining 3 medicine I have to purchase from the pharmacy.
Last month I was prescribed 2 medicines. When they asked why I did not purchase the medicine, I said I have no money. We are in hunger as well.
The Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital is the main hospital in the North Central province, and it mainly caters to the people living in the most rural villages.
බෙහෙත් ගන්න කිව්වා ඒ වුණාට ඉතින් අතේ මුදලුත් නැහැ ඒ නිසා ගන්න විදියකුත් නැහැ දුන්නේ වෙන් බෙහෙත් දෙක තුනයි මෙහෙන් හම්බෙලා තියෙන්නේ උඟක් මේවා තියෙන්නේ ෆාමසියෙන් තමයි ගන්න.
The situation at the Karapita Teaching Hospital was also the same.
ඉරාලේ නම් බෙහෙත් නැහැ. ඊටමකෝ ගස් තියලා ඕන බෙහෙත් ගන්න. ලෙඩා එහෙ විනෝන අපි මහමග විනෝන.
පැරඩෝල් පෙත් ඉඳලා ගෝස් කෑලි ඉඳලා හැමදේම ෆාමසියෙන් ගන්න වෙලා තියෙන කිසිම බෙහෙතක් කරාපිටින් නැහැ.
බෙහෙත් ටිකක් ගන්නාම හොස්පිටල් එකේ බෙහෙත් නැහැ. නැති බැරි එක්කෙනෙක් කොහොමද ගන්නෙ?
Health Secretary Janakashri Chandragupta responded to media queries with regard to the issues in the healthcare system while in Gaul.
අපි විදුලි බිල මේ ඊයේ වෙනකොට සීලුම් රෝහල් වල තිබිච්ච විදුලි බිල ගෙවන්න අවශ්‍ය මූල්‍ය ප්‍රතිපාදන ලබා දුන්නා. ජාතික රෝහලේ මිලියන 120ක් ඊයේම ලබා දුන්නා. ඒක ඉදිරියේ විදුලිය විසඳන කිරීමේ අවදානමක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් අනිත් ගැටලු වලට කවද විසඳුමක් හම්බ වෙන විකල්ප
The People's Tomorrow organization expressed their views on the health crisis today.
If this is not the collapse of the health sector, please give it another name. Low-quality drugs are destroying the lives of innocent people. Pretending that there is a shortage of drugs, emergency purchasing of surgical drugs is taking place, while doctors and other staff are leaving the country. Even the dental health sector has collapsed. As of today, we have reached a situation where hospitals do not even perform minor procedures. The minister's bragging shows no signs of stopping. In truth, he is not Kehli Rambukwella, but Failure Rambukwella. He now has a new name, because every sector which has been looked at, every field that has to be talked about, this failed minister, Failure Rambukwella, has destroyed this entire health sector. They are enjoying themselves without taking any responsibility for this. They are still boasting and bragging. This is today's situation.
The Samurdhi Development Officers Union pointed out that the government is withholding 17,089 million rupees in funds after suspending all the welfare benefits provided to poor segments of society.
The Sri Lankan government decided to introduce the new Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Program to replace the Samurdhi program. However, the new program has led to a plethora of issues. Due to issues that arose with regard to the process to identify the beneficiaries, provisions were made for the submission of objections and appeals. Following a data analysis, letters are being issued to the families that were selected for the Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Program. Since early this week, Sri Lankans were seen lining up opposite divisional secretariats and state banks to obtain the letter that states the eligibility to be included in the Aswasuma Welfare Development Program and to open bank accounts to access the Aswasuma funds. An argument broke out at a state bank in Mallavapitiya, Kurunegala, as individuals who were not in line were being allowed to enter the bank.
වගේ සාමාන්‍ය දවසකට කරන්න පුළුවන්. එක කවුන්ටර් එකයි තියෙන්නේ. හතරට ආවේ මං මුදේ පාන්දර. දැන් තව වුණතුරු නෑ. අපි නිකන් රස්තා දෙන එකේ විතරයි.
තිබ්බ විදිහම තිබ්බන මේ මුකුත් නෑ නේද? අයින්සක අපි මෙතන නිකන් බඩගින්නේ සාගින්නේ දුක් විඳ ඔය ඉන්නවා. ඒජී ඔෆිස් එකේ පොලිමේ පෙරේද දවසම. දැන් අද මෙතන.
Queues have been forming for days opposite the state banks in Akmimana and Boga.
මුදුම දුකක් විඳින්නේ අද හතරවෙනි දවසට. ඒවා එන හත ගහන වැඩ. අන්තිම දවසේ කියපු දවසටවත් ඉතින් මේක දෙන්නත් නැහැ. වැඩක් නැහැ.
Long queues were also seen for days opposite the state banks in the Gampula town as well.
මේ බොරු වැඩ මිනිස්සු රත්තියාදු කරනවා. ඊයේ පහමාට ආවේ හවස. මේ පස්වෙනි දවස.
Long queues were also seen for days opposite the state banks in the Gampula town as well. The Samurdhi Development Officers Union and the Development Officers Services Union pointed out that the government must make a public announcement on what happened to the benefits due for July and the interest for that payment.
Although it was said that the Aswasuma payment will be given in July, it never happened. What happened to the 17,089 million rupees that was given to the 2 million families in the country? What will happen to the interest on that payment as well? The Ranil Rajapaksa government is doing this to take away the benefits of the people who anticipate relief in order to please the IMF and obtain loans from the World Bank.
SJB parliamentarian Mbelu Kumar expressed the following in Kandy.
අපි දැක්ක පෞගිය කාලේ බාල ගෑස් ගෙනල්ලා ගෑස් ලිපි පිපිරෙලා
Low-quality LP gas was imported in recent times and people died when the LP gas cylinders exploded. Thereafter, people also died in fuel queues. What is happening today? Substandard medicines have been imported and the minister is saying that there is a reason that florists open up shop opposite hospitals. They have now introduced Aswasuma to form more queues for the people to die. The cabinet minister knows nothing and has no plan. One needs to wait for a week to confirm the QR code, another week to open the bank account. The Aswasuma has dragged the people to the streets. This Aswasuma kills people. The minister needs to be sent home.
මොන අස්වැසුමක්ද මේක? මිනිමරණ අස්වැසුමක් මේ. මේ බැරි අමතිවරුන් ගෙදර අරින්න ඕනේ.
The Students' Union of the Sabaragamu University staged a protest today. Now, the students are demanding for the protection of free education in the country. The protest march began from the entrance of the Sabaragamu University and the protesters then proceeded to the Pabahina Junction. The protest was held under the theme, "Tear down the report of Ranil and Vijayadasa that betrays the people and destroys free education." What really happened to the Crudia zelenica tree that caused quite a controversy in the country after it was cut down in the shade of the night? We'll bring you the details after this short commercial break.
When a heart attack strikes, every minute makes the difference between life and death. With the right care and treatment at the hand of the most skilled surgeons and medical professionals. With the perfect environment for recovery. Darden's Heart Centre, dedicated to you.
The Crudia zelenica tree of Daralua, which was removed as per a cabinet decision, according to Minister Bandula Gunawardena, was exhumed on Friday following a court order.
The case filed by the Gampha wildlife officers with regard to the removal of the Crudia zelenica tree, which is under threat of extinction, was taken up at the Gampha Additional Magistrates Court on Friday. Additional Magistrate Indrani Attanayaka noted that the tree should be exhumed in the presence of all the officials responsible for its removal. Accordingly, the tree was exhumed in the presence of the acting magistrate.
ජීවි ශාකයක් තමයි පන පිටින් මේ ආකාරයට ගලවලා තක්කඩි විදියට වල දාලා පස්වලින් වහලා තිබුණා. ඉතින් දින 18ක් භූම දාණය කරලා තමයි මේ ශාකය තිබුණේ. එතකොට අද මේක අපරාධයක් කියලායි අපි කියන්නේ. මේ අපරාධ කරුවන්ට දඬුවම් දීම සඳහා අදාළ පියවර ඉදිරි පියවර අනිවාර්යෙන් අපි ගන්නවා.
අනීතිකව නිකම් බලය පාවිච්චි කරලා මේ ගහ විනාශ කරපු එකට තමයි අපි විරුද්ධ. මේ ගහ සංරක්ෂණය කළා නම් අපි ඒකට කැමති.
A heated exchange broke out between a wildlife officer and a road development officer.
The Food and Agriculture Organization has decided to grant 8,300 metric tons of urea to Sri Lanka.
The Food and Agriculture Organization has decided to grant 8,300 metric tons of urea to Sri Lanka. The stock of fertilizer will be distributed among the farmers who cultivate less than a hectare for the Maha season. The Japanese government is funding the program that will benefit farmers in the north, east and Kurunegala district.
Orange Marine's new cable ship, the Sophie Germain, has left dry dock in its orange and white livery.
The newest cable-laying and repair vessel, Sophie Germain, which is located in Colombo Port, was officially handed over at the Colombo dockyard on Friday. This ship, with a width of 18.80 meters and its length 100 meters long, is manufactured for Orange Marine France, Germany, and is to be used for marine construction and repairs, including laying cables on the seabed. The Colombo dockyard said that this is the second ship built for cable laying and repair work, and 255 ships have been built and delivered to European and Asian countries on various requests. Sri Lanka has received about 50 million euros as foreign exchange through the construction of the newest cable laying and repair vessel, Sophie Germain, built by Colombo Dockyard Company, which is located in Colombo Port.
Tarshan Selvaraja, a Sri Lankan baker who won the title of Best Baguette in Paris, returned to Sri Lanka on Friday.
In Paris, the home of amazing delicacies, a contest is held every year to decide the best traditional baguette in the country. This year, Sri Lankan Tarshan Selvaraja walked away with first place, winning 4,000 euros and a contract to serve French President Emmanuel Macron and his guests at Elysee Palace for a year. Selvaraja returned to Sri Lanka on Friday.
I am 2006. I am going to Paris. 2009 I am start my bakery journey. Before I am going to get the job, I don't know how to make the baguette, how to make the bread. I don't know anything. Our boss he explained everything slowly. After 2010, 12, 16, small everything. I am learning every total bakery product. After my boss said you are in charge of the bakery. After 2018 I am by the bakery. 2020 I am by on. I am winning in first prize. I am so happy. First time winning in Asian country people. Everybody call, say congrats. So many people coming, seeing me, take the photos.
This year's contest was held on May 10th, where 126 baguettes were chosen from a pool of 175 for evaluation and tasting. Each entry vying for the title of the best traditional baguette in Paris had to meet exacting standards, including specific dimensions, weight and salt content. Second phase of the Divi Savia program, distributing much needed school books and supplies to the students of Sri Lanka. Coming soon.
Day 2 of the top 16 rounds of the Jaffna Premier League football tournament got underway in Jaffna today. 2 of the top 16 round matches of the Jaffna Premier League football tournament got underway in Jaffna where 4 teams secured a place in the quarterfinals of the tournament scheduled to be held on the 29th and 30th of July. These matches were held at Ariale and Pathur stadiums in Jaffna. The Jaffna Premier League football tournament is being held with the aim of selecting the cream of Sri Lankan football players for the national football squad. Shakti TV is the official media sponsor for the event. And that's a wrap of Prime Time News on TV1 for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Charlene Benedict for the News First team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara.
Good night.